reason number 2, you're feeling shameful. When I was a kid, my dad was a superhero. He was a photographer, and he flew all around the world, taking photographs of the most beautiful places and the most beautiful people, from dancers to athletes, CEOs to street vendors and farmers. Honestly, some of them were more beautiful on the inside. He grew up on a farm in small-town England, and I knew that he could tame and ride a horse all through his childhood, but I never saw him actually ride a bike. I don't know if he could ride a bike, but he taught me how to ride a bike. I had this little blue thing with white wheels and lightning strikes on the side and streamers, because streamers are for people who like colorful things. And I was so excited to get going, but I was a really fearful kid. I did not want to get a scrape. I did not want to get a broken bone. If I got a splinter and you had to remove it, I would be screaming at you like you ripped off my toe. I was sure I was not an easy person to teach how to ride. But my dad stuck with it. He adjusted. He persevered. Like after I'd fallen too many times on the road and had blood dripping down my leg, he thought, let's go to the backyard instead. There was a bit of a slope and flat, grassy ground, and so we set up, and he got behind me, and he held the seat and steadied me, and then gave me a little push as I pedaled, and he let go. And I remember, maybe like you do, that feeling of first riding your bike on your own, where you're like, I am totally in control of this thing. And as you're pedaling, I felt like the kids from E.T., like I wasn't on the ground anymore. I was flying up in the sky, and my dad ran beside me, so if I was flying, then he was flying right beside me, all the way into the bushes at the end of the yard, because he didn't teach me how to stop yet. And so when I grew up and got into high school and the decade to follow, it was especially hard for me to see my dad, the hero, fall. I mean, he fell hard. He fell into alcoholism and depression and bankruptcy and loneliness, and he made all kinds of bad choices. And it felt like this hero had forgotten how to fly altogether. See, I loved my dad for many reasons, and I also felt ashamed for many reasons. So when I became a father, I tried to recreate what I most loved and not repeat what I was most ashamed of. This is my story. And for you, confidence is being crushed in your life because you are being contained by your story instead of captivated by it. Something happened to you at some point in your life, or you did something and you feel like you are trapped, you are contained in shame because of that thing. The great irony of it all is, of course, that some of the most difficult moments in our story create confidence. And when you dig down deeper into what you've lived through, you actually create confidence to step into any setting with any group and show up completely because you know that I will live through this moment too. Even parenting, as hard as it may be. I mean, my son is just like me. He's afraid to fall. He's afraid to fail. He's afraid of what others think of him. But unfortunately, I didn't know that a few years ago when I first tried to teach him how to ride a bike. And I had this amazing motivation to not fail like my dad did later in life. So we're out there, and he's on his bike, and I'm ready, and the first try, I'm holding the seat, and I give him a little push, and I let him go, and he fell, and he cried, and he started to stomp away. And so what did I do? I did not adjust. I got very angry, and I saw the failure, and I thought, not today. And so I went over, and I got him, and I said, you're going to try again. And he said, no, and I got even more angry. You see, in the middle of the street, I got angry at my 5-year-old son because he didn't learn how to ride a bike on the first try. And he quit. So the next year, we tried again, and the same thing happened. The next year, same thing. At this rate, he's going to take the training wheels off when he's 22 years old. Once a year, we would try. He didn't like it. We would stop. But then this year, something changed. I looked him in the eyes before we got on that bike. He had knee pads and elbow pads, full body foam suit, the whole thing. And I said, I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to run with you. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to persevere. And soon we will ride together. And he went for it. He fell, and then he got up. He persevered. And on one glorious July afternoon, I let go of that seat as he pedaled hard, and I watched him soar all the way until he hit the curb and fell over because I didn't teach him how to stop. See, dads fail. My dad failed a ton. But what I know through it all is that he was proud of me and my brother, and we were the most important things to him. And instead of being contained by this story of shame that I could let define me, I'm going to be captivated instead by my story of love and failure and flying. And if you can bravely go into your story, and if you can accept that although it isn't all right, it is all done, then you will be empowered by the strength that that story brings. And you will love the fact that your story ain't over yet. So you may be feeling shameful, but confidence is created when you are captivated by your own story.